Welcome to the Brand and Market Podcast, where branding clarity meets marketing strategy. I'm your host, Allie Haney, founder of Brand and Market, a boutique agency dedicated to helping small businesses craft intentional brands and effective marketing plans. Each week, I share practical tips and insights to help you, especially those of you in real estate-related industries, build a standout brand to attract your brand's biggest fans. Let's dive in. Hi there. Welcome to another episode of the Brand and Market Podcast. I'm your host, Allie Haney, and today I have with me Lori Webb and Emily Albers, who are the co-founders of Health House, a new health and wellness studio in Rollsville, North Carolina. We are still in the construction phase, but I have been so honored to be brought on as their marketing director for Health House. And without further ado, I would absolutely love for Lori and Emily to introduce themselves, tell them a little bit more about their backgrounds and how their backgrounds came together to build this beautiful concept of Health House. Lori, why don't you take it away?
Thank you, Allie. Thank you for having us. Health House it's turned into just something so special community-wise and personally for me. So I've been a business owner for multiple years. I got pretty sick 3 years ago, actually just from a mild case of COVID. I had a hard time recovering. It was a couple weeks after the COVID vaccine, and then I had COVID, and then sort of started going downhill from there for a couple of years, fainting, heart arrhythmias, all kinds of scary stuff. I was taken inpatient for about 3 weeks. They got my medicine straightened out. And once I was able to live about 50% of the life I was living before, I started doing as much natural support and resources that I could. I was frustrated by the Western medicine side of things, just the healthcare system in general. I do believe in medication, and I know that that's what got me 50% of the way. But insurance companies were hard to deal with. Talking to doctors to just determine any kind of way that I could support or make some of the treatments easier. They didn't really have answers. They just said, take these pills. So I wound up going all over the place for different things and kept journals of things that helped me and that didn't help me. And from there, knowing that certain things did help me, I thought it would be really cool to have something that offered all kinds of wellness modalities under one roof. And I believe I was on Emily's podcast right around the time that the idea was really coming to fruition. When she interviewed me and we talked, I knew she knew her stuff. We really just sort of vibed, and she knew things, I'll let her talk. She knew things, though, from a nurse's perspective. And this was born. And now, we'll talk in further a little bit later, but we've created something that I feel like is a very needed space in the Raleigh area and many others. Some places have things like this. Most places don't. So anyways, that's a little bit about my background. Today, I'm feeling about 75% better. So I'm still on the mend and continuing to get well and on this journey.
And you said that was about 3 years ago that the symptoms started.
3 years ago. And then 2 years ago was when I was hospitalized. And that's when I started making a dent into my progress a bit.
I see. So there was a whole year where you were just kind of stagnant and not feeling well.
2 years, very, very ill, to the point that things that were happening were so odd. Like I would step outside in the heat and completely faint and lose consciousness. It was very scary. My heart arrhythmias, my tachycardia and bradycardia was very scary. They implanted a loop recorder in me. I had unreal fatigue. I had something very scary called PEM, which was post-exertional malaise, where I would wake up, I'd get up to go to the bathroom, take a couple steps, and that drained all of the fuel in my body, and I'd have to just crawl back to bed, and I wouldn't know how long it would last. I mean, to the point that I couldn't speak. I couldn't use it. There was no energy in my body. So it was quite terrifying, as you can imagine, especially going from someone that ran multiple businesses, did a lot. I ran a 10K the day before I had COVID. So this was appalling and scary, depressing, lonely, all the things.
And like I said, I mean, I know you said we will get into it in just a little bit of like a little bit more what Health House is, but throughout the entire time that you were speaking, the word that continued to come to my mind was like advocacy. You had to advocate for yourself so hard throughout that entire process, especially within the Western medicine world. And so that kind of brings us over to Emily to tell us a little bit more about her background, because she has a large background in the Western medicine world. So Emily, I'm going to turn it over to you for a little bit.
Okay, thanks. So I started in 25 years ago, approximately. Actually, it's probably closer to 30 at this point in Western medicine. I started on the clinical side of healthcare and gradually moved over to the administrative side. I was a nurse for the majority of that time, but I enjoyed the administrative side of healthcare, although it really opened up my eyes to the business that it is. I think a lot of clinical healthcare employees are kind of naive to the fact that healthcare is a business. And I think most of us go in to help people. And then, you start to learn, like I said, I mean, if you stay on the clinical side your whole career, you're probably lucky enough to not ever see the business side of it. But anyway, so as I had gotten on to the administrative side, I really saw the lack of, to your point, advocacy that patients had, that decisions were being made from purely a financial standpoint versus a holistic approach. So it kind of led me into this big rabbit hole, and I found myself wanting to really help patients, people, and other healthcare employees in a way that I didn't feel like I was able to do from inside the system. So I stepped out. I started a podcast and started interviewing healthcare professionals and patients who have just been frustrated with the system, and just kind of to get their stories out. I feel like that was a good way to start educating the public, and in hopes that maybe someday that would lead to change. I also do own a small business as well. My husband has owned it for probably about 15 years now, and so transitioning out of healthcare, I got into the small business world with him, and I met Lori on the podcast. I think she reached out to me afterward and was like, "Hey, I have an idea. I want to know if you're interested in talking about it," and it just grew from here into this. I just never would have pictured that I'd be here today. If I think about where I was, just a short time ago. It's a crazy transition, but I do feel like I'm in a much better position to be able to educate and support people like Lori who suffer with chronic illness. So
Absolutely. And please plug your podcast. Tell everybody what it is so we can continue that advocacy.
yeah, well, thank you. So it's called What the Healthcare. I put a season out. I'm kind of on a break right now, just so I can focus on Health House, but I will get back into season 2 coming soon. So thank you.
Very good. Of course. Of course. And it's in our social media plan to be able to launch that podcast episode that started it all between Lori and Emily too. So I'm excited to be able to reshare that with the world on multiple different platforms too. Okay, so now we've talked kind of like the background of Health House. Let's talk actual Health House. So when people come to Health House in Cobblestone Village in Rollsville, North Carolina, tell me what they'll see, what they'll experience, and how they'll experience it.
So part of this was I drew a lot from what I was going through, because I was in a lot of support groups and noticing that a lot of people were getting, it almost became like these trendy types of diagnoses, and nobody was getting any better. And people are so desperate to share the things that worked for them. So in desperation, I began doing things like fasting, detoxing, red lights, cold plunges. I mean, you name it, I tried it. Supplements, peptides, stem cells. I have been through the ringer, including 5 diagnoses where no doctors would really even acknowledge that this all came after, that certain virus. So where we started was movement. We wanted to have a studio that was movement based. And I always had chronic illness in the back of my mind. When I would stand up, my heart rate goes to about 180 beats per minute. So it's very uncomfortable to do exercise that you're moving up and down, up and down. So I started doing a lot of Pilates, anything that would help keep muscle tone and stuff like that. So we have a movement studio that turned into literally this amazing thing because we found instructors all over the place that totally believed in this and thought it was awesome. But, they're not just instructors for chronic illness. We've got some of the top instructors that are teaching barre, Pilates, reformers, yoga, dance, all kinds of fun stuff. Breath work and meditation was extremely important because that was an extremely important focus through a lot of the wellness. From the movement studio, I always wanted to pair it, and Emily agreed, we pair it with modalities that would complement any kind of movement, or even if people aren't able to get to the movement part, they're able to heal. There's so much science that's coming out now that's so much further along than, 5-6 years ago. So we've added hot and cold contrast. So we've got like salt booths and saunas and red lights, cold plunges and vitamin C showers. We've got oxygen bar, sound beds, all kinds of stretch modalities for bone density, like vibration plates. The list goes on. There's 25 of them. And then what we realized was another addition to this is having people that truly understand the best methods for this, the best process and way to do it. So we started talking to people that do lymphatic drainage and craniosacral therapy and integrative medicine, all different types. So we not only have the movement studio now with about 60 classes a week, we've got 25 modalities, and we've got 10 practitioners that will all be under one place, under one roof. Many of us have stuff going on, have some chronic illness that they've dealt with or are dealing with. Some folks are just in incredible shape and have lived a certain way for a long time and really have a lot of experience. Some have, been on different journeys and believe different things. But it's the one thing that everybody has said is, this is amazing. It's an amazing meeting of the minds and really powerful to get this many people together to help the community not only heal, but be healthy, longevity, recovery for athletes. I mean, there's literally everything here in one place. So we're super proud of that. I mean, I think that the space, again, it's going to be beautiful in itself, but it's really going to have a community vibe and tribe and do great things for a lot of people.
Absolutely. It seems like, just from speaking to people in the DMs and seeing the emails that we've received back throughout like the pre-launch process of memberships, it's like there's no one size fits all type of approach, which I think, and sorry if I'm speaking for you, Emily, but like that's kind of what it seems like in sometimes the Western medicine world, especially like when Lori said there's a trendy diagnosis. So it's like, okay, here's a diagnosis for you. Here's a diagnosis for you. Here's a diagnosis for you. But at Health House, it really can be kind of a create your own journey or create your own path. And to me, being like someone not in the medical world at all and being introduced to all of these new concepts, like that could be overwhelming to start. But the way that you've already thought through that and brought on practitioners that are willing to be those functional health coaches to bridge that gap between, the lack of knowledge and what somebody might need for their individual health journey, and then giving them exactly what they do, like what they need and how to do it, is absolutely incredible. And that kind of brings me to my next point, is that you guys have done so like an incredible job of bringing together people who have like a common set of values and building out that team. And I'm just curious as to what it looks like behind the scenes building a team of that magnitude, because I believe altogether there's over 30 of us that are involved in Health House so far, and we don't even open until July. So how has that process been for you all?
From my perspective, it's been such a joy seeing the amount of people that are reaching out to us that are like, hey, I want to be part of this, because I think we're at a time where people are finally ready to invest in their health. And I think that to go along with that, having those practitioners that can help guide people, is a lot of people just don't know where to start. And we've been so programmed to be, Western medicine and, easy fixes, and here's a prescription. And there is a time and a place for Western medicine, but there are so many other modalities and practitioners that can help in anybody's healing journey. So it has been just amazing to see how many people reach out on a daily basis and just say, I want to be a part of this. Like, this is amazing. How can I help? I mean, to me, I think that's how a lot of this has grown. It has been intentional. That seems to be a big part of it too.
How about you, Lori? You've done a lot of the behind the scenes of hiring and stuff. So tell me what it's been like getting to know all of these amazing practitioners and instructors.
Yeah, I mean, Emily's right on the head with it. They have, so many of them have come to us and have said, my friend saw this and read about it, and you have to be at a place like this. It's been an honor and a privilege to have that happen. And it's been wild. There's 37 people in total. And it's been hard for me to say no to anybody, because they come to the initial calls, their heart's on fire to help people. They may have worked in different settings before, or they may have some certain feelings of sorts about different ways the healthcare system works and things like that. And so they are totally in it from minute one. And you can hear that as they're talking. I mean, no one asks about pay. No one asks about things that you would think in any job. They just say, I'm so grateful to be a part of this, and I can't believe that this is happening. And like, they mean it. So to tell you what that feels like, it's almost hard to like put that into words. It's a great feeling. Emily and I get giddy. Like, I don't even know how many times a day. It's a lot. I have to pace myself and be careful that I don't burn myself out or do anything that could jeopardize the way, all the progress that I've made so far. But listening to these folks and knowing how much I'm going to be able to learn from some of them, the peptides in, some of the science behind some of that is so interesting to learn. Actually, one of the treatments, we're not offering this treatment, but one of the treatments that was really moved the needle for me were stem cells. Again, there aren't many. I mean, I had to search and search and search it out. So to be able to have these people that know certain things, they know things about settling down your sympathetic nervous system so that the fight and flight symptoms aren't always going on. They're smart, they're brilliant, they have tactics, they're tried and true things that people have offered for many, many, many years, like acupuncture and pressure and things like that. So the hiring process has been, I feel like, a blessing. Like I've learned so much. And again, we had handed to us on like a silver platter really good people, just like Emily and I finding each other I mean, how perfect was that? And then her husband's a GC. And then and then we found you, and your marketing getting us out there has been nothing short of like magical. I mean, there aren't places, everybody knows about it. And again, we don't even open for a couple of months. So there's all the feelings.
Are you feeling stuck when it comes to your branding or marketing strategy? Do you have a million ideas but no clear direction on where to start? Then it sounds like a Power Hour session would be perfect for you. This is a focused one-on-one video call designed to tackle your biggest branding or marketing challenges. Here's how it works. You schedule a call, share some of your business details and any burning questions you have ahead of time. Then during our session, we dive straight into solutions. No fluff, no generic advice, just tailored strategies that work for you and your business. Whether you're a realtor looking to stand out in a crowded market, a short-term rental owner creating a repeat guest experience, or a builder needing clarity on your messaging, the Power Hour is designed to help you walk away with actionable steps to grow your brand. Are you ready to take the guesswork out of your branding and marketing? Let's tackle it together. Visit the link in the show notes to book your Power Hour session today, and let's turn your ideas into intentional action. So like Health House is such a unique concept in the fact that we have sort of like the three branches, the exercise classes, the wellness modalities, and the practitioners. So I just want to hear like what you all say is the main differentiator from, let's say, a gym, because we have quite a few of those right around us, or, just a regular movement studio, whether it's yoga, Pilates, bar, whatever it is. What makes us different than everybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that we're not just a gym or just a spa. We're all encompassing. And I think that Lori has herself used all of these methods in her journey so she can really like speak to this stuff like, hey, it works. It worked for me. I mean, I wouldn't even know what to compare us to because we are a very unique entity. And yeah, like, I mean, again, I'm just so blessed to be part of it and to see that how the community is accepting and loving this. I can't wait.
I was just going to say, because we are next to some gyms and stuff, hopefully that can be synergistic where, people that are, because this isn't confined to, like I said, just to people that might have chronic illness. This is for athletes that are training and they're strength training and they're tearing at their shoulder tissues all the time. I mean, we've got modalities to heal that, to repair that, to build and strengthen nerves and regenerate things. So it's very synergistic for those types of, folks that are only into weightlifting. But we've learned now over time that you shouldn't just do one thing and be siloed into one thing, because that can cause injury and hurt and all of that. And again, that's why we are so much all about just the word healing in totality, for the recovery, for journeys that people are on. We've got in America so much sickness, so much autoimmune, so much orthopedic problems, all kinds of stuff. These things are needed, and people need to kind of relearn things that they might have been taught in the 80s and 90s that people believed in at that time, but weren't right on. So hopefully this will be very synergistic with places that don't offer all the things that we offer.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny that you said re-educate people, because as the marketing person, that is what I feel like I do on a daily basis, is just to educate people on this very new concept, because it is so unique that no one knows how to quite take it all in, because they're it almost sounds too good to be true. So with that being said, I know you all have put together kind of a signature series of what it would look like a day in the life at Health House. So can you walk us through that signature series and really paint the picture of what it would be like to walk through the front doors and experience pretty much everything that, Health House has to offer?
There is the individuality that, if someone comes in and they're hyped up and they want to do a couple dance classes in a row and then just sit and relax and loosen their muscles and sit in a sauna, you can do that. But there are going to be a lot of people that are looking for some guidance. And the way that the way that I've read things and treat myself in a lot of ways is heat, so sauna, and then cold. The cold has been really good for me for bringing down inflammation, mental clarity, breathing through, like truly learning how to breathe through moments that your body might be in a different state. So the sauna, the cold plunge, back to the sauna, then sitting in our salt booth for 10 minutes. The salt booth can be excellent. It's been described to me as almost sitting at the edge of an ocean. The benefits of 7 days of doing that and breathing in the salt air and letting the salt air hit your skin, like all of the benefits that you get from that. And then sitting in front of the red light for some time and letting that all kind of bake in. That's a great initial plan. I will say that, again, that's not the same for everybody. Some people can't handle heat. Some people can't handle cold. But initially, many people will be able to do that. There are going to be people that are focused on bone loss, bone density, strengthening. And we have got a stretch lab that has the rebounders, the inversions, the vibration plates, the compressions, all things that can help that. And we'll have a pathway through that too. I just got to say, Emily and I experienced the sound bed the other day. So we bought a couple of sound beds. I believe we're one of the only places out in the Triangle that has them. It was unbelievable. Talk about a way of like toning down your sympathetic and going to another place. I mean, you're completely encapsulated. So you lay on a sound bed, you have your headphones on, you close your eyes, and it takes you to another place through narration and meditation type talking, through different, the stimulation from the vibrations. There's a lot of healing frequencies. The bed moves. There's temperature changes and stuff. I've never experienced anything like that. And I can only imagine doing that once a week, like what that must do for someone that's high stress all of the time, just to be able to take that 30 minutes or whatever and completely forget about all that's in the world and spend that time internally. Like, it's amazing. So, and again, some of the practitioners may plan something specific for people, but that's kind of our signature way of doing things. And then it's all catered to what people feel like that day. If they feel like taking a bar class and then maybe lounging, or just taking a long soak in the vitamin C showers or something along those lines. We have so much stuff that there's going to be something for anyone's journey.
To play off what Lori was saying, I think there's a standard, but then there's also, and you can also individualize pretty much any of those modalities. So it's just such a cool concept, the entire thing. And yes, the sound bed. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have one in my house.
Yeah, literally bought one yesterday.
Yes, it was.
You bought one?
I would like to. Yes. I struggle to. I think most of us do. I think most of us are in a constant state of fight or flight, and we don't even realize it. And meditation is key to get yourself out of that. And myself and many like me struggle to shut your brain down to get into that state. Almost instantaneously, I was meditating. And I had two people in the room next to me talking. And I was I sat up and looked at Lori and I'm like, I have to have this like in my house.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. When can I try it out?
I mean,
Come on over.
This is making us so poor. I wound up buying a Pilates reformer for my own self in my home. I mean, and we own this place, so we can go there all of the time. And the stuff is so good for you that it's, once you're using it, it's almost hard to break away from some of it. And I want to say we tried to think of things too that would be totally different than what others would do. So like we're actually going to have red light mats and red light stands that people can rent while they're taking a class. So if they want to do the savasana part of a yoga class laying on a red mat, they can. Or if they want to just have the red light lamp on while they're doing some different yoga warrior poses or whatever, they can. So we've been as thoughtful as possible to think through anything that people are just not used to getting that they can get from us to make the experience so heightened and so good for them.
And that leads me into my next question is like, we've welcomed over 50 founding members to Health House already, and we don't open for another couple months. Like, how does that feel to you guys?
I feel like I love the people that from the ground floor see it, get it, and take the chance right off the jump. And that number, we've only opened up to allow memberships within the last like 10 days. But that number, I think, is going to grow exponentially, and we have to be careful with that because we don't want experiences where it's just overloaded and so packed all of the time. But I think that when word of mouth and referrals and things start, just like with the sound bed, I mean, there's no one I won't tell about that, and I know that Emily has already told half the people she knows about it. So I just think that the numbers are going to grow, and with education, more and more people will come to us. And then again, I don't want to take away from the folks that like teach the classes. Like, we have the best of the best people teaching these classes. So there's also like 60 classes a week is huge, and there's going to be a lot of fun and strengthening, and people are hopefully going to just get back to the healthiest lifestyle they could possibly lead. So 50 members is amazing. I think that these numbers are going to shoot up as we get closer to the date. So we're going to see, but we're also going to be very methodical and logistic in making sure that we do not overload the studio.
It's emotional too, because it's so exciting to be building this and providing this and having this, this many people before we've even announced an opening date. Like, it's crazy. But then it's also kind of sad to me that there's this many people. I mean, I think in our interview, Lori was telling me about some of the sick groups that she's in on Facebook. And I was just like, I couldn't believe the amount of people, like thousands in these groups. So it's emotional that there's just like there's so many people that are just craving health and healing. And so that to me hurts my heart, but I'm so fortunate to be able to provide them, with a means to get there to what they're looking for. So that's cool. So it's kind of, it's a very emotional experience.
So I know that both of you all have really deep ties to the community. You both own businesses outside of Health House. But if you had to boil it down to one thing that really caused that early momentum that we've seen so far, what would that one thing be? Lori, you can go first.
I mean, I just have a fire in me over this, like, in making sure that I understand the question correctly. But whenever I set out to do something, my mission and vision is very clear, and I feel like I'm being led to this direction. And so there is no stopping or slowing down. This is make it as great as possible, because now I feel compelled to have the community benefit as much as possible. So, I'm on fire with it, and it's impossible. I mean, I'll drive everybody. I've driven my husband crazy. Poor Emily gets 15 calls a day from me. I'm sure you get close to 10 calls a day from me. It's a passion, and it's fueled by all of the right reasons. So I'm going with that.
I would agree 100%. I would say excellent, stellar marketing and passion. And I actually had a conversation with somebody in my other business the other day. I'm introducing a new software, and it was with the software. So it was just over Zoom. And she asked me, I was just describing my construction business. And then I told her I'm on this other venture. And she said, "Oh, tell me about that business." And so as I was talking, she goes, "Oh, I can totally tell that's your passion." Like, she's like, the difference in hearing you talk about each, she's like, I can just tell. So I love my other business, and I still do things for the community, but this is just like, yeah, I mean, the passion behind this and just being able to be part of this, I cannot put into words.
So how has it been seeing everything, at least digitally, in the marketing space come to life? We started our social media Instagram presence from scratch, and in less than 60 days, we have almost 2,300 followers on Instagram, I believe. And then, we've started our email marketing from scratch. We started our website from scratch, literally within the last 60 days. So what has that been like to you guys, just seeing even like me or someone else buying into the vision so much and being able to like bring it to life?
Yeah, you're on another level. I mean, you're our third person, and the marketing is gorgeous, as it should be, because this place is gorgeous. It represents the brand beautifully. People have embraced it and felt connected to it. And those are all things that you want to happen from marketing. It's a visceral feeling when you're looking at a digital item or a piece of paper or something, but to be able to have that kind of resonate and spark so much interest, that's very few and far between in the marketing world. So it's beyond anything I could ever imagine. Better than some of the best brands that I've seen. So I'm thrilled.
Thank you. How did you guys feel? I'm going to reveal like a little behind the scenes story of us when you first met me. And I kind of took a little bit of a gamble saying this to you because I didn't know you that well at the moment. But when I asked for, the existing branding or marketing collateral that you had when you brought me on and you sent me your logo, I would love to hear that story from your perspective of how that went.
I remember Lori sending that to me, and I go, no, because I was so in love with our initial. And now I am like, I am so happy that this is the direction that we went.
As soon as I saw what Allie did, I was like, there's no way we're not doing this. And I got kickback from all kinds of people.
I was one.
Because our initial step was pretty good.
It was cool. Yeah, I just had to shift my,
But there's something, I mean, it was the right.
Yes.
It spoke to us completely. So, and then, what's important and what's key is in collaborations that are this big, using people for their talents and not, being a know-it-all and trying to make all of the decisions. I mean, that's another thing. We're leaning so much on the teachers to give us feedback and the practitioners to give us feedback, and our backgrounds for everything has kind of fit so perfectly. And your experience and expertise was right on the money, and it captivates people. And so that says a lot about everything that we're doing and the people that are involved in it.
Yeah, just to give a little bit of background to everyone else, they sent me the logo that they had, and the logo was not bad by any means, but just taking everything that I had heard from Lori about Health House and who we were trying to cater to, who we were trying to market to, and just all of that, I just felt like there was a little bit of a disconnect in the overall branding, and so it was a what I feel like a very gutsy move to say speak up that early on in the process when she really didn't know me from anybody else and just say, I just want to say that this is a huge idea. This is going to heavily impact the community for years to come. And if I didn't speak up now at the very beginning, and then, this evolves somehow in the next 1 to 2 years, and we have to redo website, redo social media, redo the window static clings, like everything down to every little tiny marketing detail. I was like, I just wouldn't feel right moving forward if I didn't at least say something. And so I feel like I took a little bit of a leap of faith there. And I was really grateful. Like, I know that Lori received pushback throughout that process. And I was like, oh, I might have just like screwed the pooch on this one. But
no, that was the right move. It was the right move, Allie, for sure.
And so now to see it on the doors of Health House, I stopped the other day to take a few social media videos and I started tearing up. Like, this is so big and coming to life. Let's say, just to wrap it up, if you had one final thing to say to our audience about let's focus on the startup phase, because that's what we still are in now. If you had like a word of wisdom to other business owners or to just people out there who might have a dream or a passion project in their heart, what would that final just call to action be?
I mean, I think just do it and start. I think too, I'm learning so much through this process. And I actually said to Lori the other day, if I had her in a different business opportunity that I had a couple years ago, I'm like, if I had Lori, that would have come to fruition. And it's good that things landed the way they did, but having a partner, and especially, and we do come from, I'm like the no person. I'm like, no right away. And she's like, yes to everything. And I think that works for us because I have the ability to then, if she's yesing, I'm like, okay, like think about this and see where she's coming from. And then, we end up coming to a good decision. I mean, this partnership is just, I'm so proud of us. I would say, just do it. And if you get somebody in with you, I think partnerships are a game changer.
I 100% agree with her. I prefer it. I know that that's not always the way that things go, but if you can find your other half that makes you better and vice versa, then how much better can a business be? So that, and I suppose having a little patience, but I'm not quite there yet. That's also Emily in my ear saying, hold on, relax. Patience is good. I don't have that skill set down pat yet. But I love our partnership, and I love our partnership with you, Allie. I mean, it's pivotal. Marketing is so relevant and important in getting the message across to everybody. So we're fierce.
First, I want to say thank you, because a lot of times people kind of overlook the marketing. They focused on the core idea and the operations, which are absolutely important. But if no one knows about your idea, then no one can purchase from you, right? So thank you first for just putting that out there. But I also want to say thank you for allowing me to see the partnership between you all as well, because I have been in a partnership before, and it's exactly how you all are describing. You have to find someone that complements you to the T. And I think I truly believe that you guys have found it. It's almost like a marriage, right? Like, you discuss everything together.
Yeah, I would say it is. And I'm like, I can't wait to do more business with this woman. Like, I love what we have.
So much.
I love that so much. Well, I'm going to end by telling everyone where to find us. You can find us on Instagram. We are very active there. That is at HealthHouseNC. Our email is hello@healthhousenc.com. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And finally, our brand new website is up and live. You can purchase memberships there. That is www.healthhousenc.com. If you know anything about me and listening to this podcast, I like to keep things consistent, and we have been able to do that with all of our Instagram social handles. Emily is actually over the TikTok as well, and we've got like 110,000 followers over there. So come on and join us over there as well. Anything else, ladies?
That's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. This has been a great opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. You just completed another episode of the Brand Market Podcast. If you found this helpful, please rate, review, and subscribe to help others find this show and so that you never miss an episode. Don't forget to take a look at the show notes for all the resources mentioned today. See you next Wednesday, and as always, I'm here cheering you on as you build your dream brand and business.